Minecraft cake in the shape of Steve. Now I'm doing Minecraft because my kids have done nothing but play Minecraft all holidays, so it's on the brain and they're so excited about this cake. So as you can see, I'm starting with 2 long rectangle pieces of cake. I've just cooked 2 different packet cakes. I'm doing some buttercream in the middle, and of course my top one split, but it doesn't matter because we're covering it with buttercream, so it's going to stick back together and we're just going to carve it. So let's do a crumb coat on the top first before we cut the cake, and then we put that into the fridge to set. As you can see, I've printed out a A4 size piece of Steve, and using it as my template, I'm going to cut around. The good thing about Minecraft is that it's all blocks, so cutting it out is really easy because it's just blockish. And there was heaps of leftover cake to eat, which is excellent in my book. Anytime there's leftover cake that I get to nibble on is a good day. So I'm just going to crumb coat the outside of the rest of Steve and put that back in the fridge to set again. Now there's quite a few different colours. As you can see, we've got white. I do have a bit of brown, which I don't actually end up using it. I have a dark brown, I have ivory, I've got teal, I've got blue, and I've got grey. Actually, I take that back. I do use the little brown, but I end up using it just for a bit on his nose. So let's get covering. Let's start with his feet. So we can start with his shoes. Using some grey, we cut a rectangle, and we put that across his feet. Now, again, because he's blockish, it's quite easy to do your fondants, but there is a little bit of measuring involved. So if you're like me and tend to wing it, by the end you're going to be getting out that ruler. So as you can see, just using a bit of grey and keeping nice straight lines, because everything is blocked. You want nice straight lines on your Minecraft cake. So placing the grey on and then smoothing it down and joining up the edges. Then we can move on to his flesh. So I'm going to put my template back on, and using a knife, as you can see, I'm just marking out where his shirt ends and where his arms will begin, so I know where to put the flesh. He also has a V-neck shirt. Well, it's pixelated, but in mine it's going to be V-necked because I'm not pixelating. So I'm just marking that off as well. Now cutting out my ivory pieces for his skin, I'm going to place them on, and I'm going to tidy it up with my ruler, making it again with nice straight lines. So we do that with the 2 arms, and we also do his head and his V-neck before we put his shirt on. While I am finishing off the flesh of Steve, don't forget to subscribe to us here at Podge Australia. We do upload twice a week with cakes, bakes and yummy makes, so hit that subscribe button and stay up to date. Time to move on to his pants. So getting out our dark blue colour, we're going to cut out another rectangle and place his pants on before we move on to his face. Now I have put his mouth on, as you can already see, but I decided I didn't like it in the end, so I do change it towards the end of the video, which is why I haven't shown you how I've done it now. But putting his eyes on, they're just 2 1 centimetre squares, so 1 centimetre by 1 centimetre. And you're going to want them in blue. Then you also do the same in the white, because it's, again, pixels in Minecraft. So we have a white pixel on the outside of each eye as well. Now that it's time to pull out that teal and cut out Steve's shirt, I'm going to start pulling out my ruler because I need it to fit in between the flesh of his arms, and I don't really want to have to do a lot of trimming once it's on the cake, so I like to do my trimming beforehand so that it fits in snugly. So this is where your maths and your geometry, I'm assuming, if geometry is wrong, I apologise, it's been a while since I've been at school. But here's where you pull out a ruler and get a little bit more technical in the cake. So as you can see, my square just slides in there, and I'm just going to tuck in the sides and smooth that down. I'm then going to do the same with the top when I'm putting on his sleeves, because obviously we have the V-neck shape. So we're going to want to measure out the long side of the shirt and then the short side, and then cut on the angle so it just fits snugly into that V-neck of his shirt, and then smoothing it down and finishing off the edges. Please don't think I've forgotten. I did notice in Steve's apparel that he has sort of a triangular piece of his shirt hanging down, almost like his shirt is untucked from his pants over on the side. So I'm just cutting off a little triangle now to add onto his pants piece to look like a part of his untucked shirt. Getting towards the end of the cake, it's time to add on Steve's hair. So using our dark brown fondant, we're going to roll that out And I'm going to do around the sides up the top first. He kind of looks a bit bald from where I'm looking. It's quite amusing, but don't worry, we'll add the top to that. I'm going to put a little bit of water underneath this fondant to help it stick because the head has been on there for a while, so it has been starting to dry. It's always helpful to add a little bit of water if you're putting something onto the side on top of more fondant so it doesn't have that chance to slide off. When we're finished adding the fringe part to Steve's head, I'm also going to add the 1 centimetre pixel pieces of hair on each side of his head, and then I'm going to add the sides on for the completed hair look on Steve. Before, I really wasn't happy with the mouth on Steve, so I did take it off and decided to redo it. So just using a little bit of the brown that I had used for his mouth, I decided to use as his nose, and using the same brown that I used for his hair, I'm now going to turn that into a mouth, and it's going to be smaller. I think the where I went wrong and where it wasn't sitting well with me was that the mouth was too long. So again, it's good. Don't worry if you make a mistake, just take it off, try again until you're happy with the finished look, and I was much happier with this mouth. So using the same colour as his hair for the mouth, and don't forget to pop a nose on, the man does need to breathe. I hope you've enjoyed this Minecraft Steve cake. I think it's going to be a real big hit for boys' birthdays, even girls' birthdays. My daughter absolutely goes nuts for Minecraft. Hell, my husband goes nuts for Minecraft. Thanks for watching Hodge Podge Australia, and we'll see you again real soon.